Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After Kids with Doctors Brooke and Lynne. I'm Dr. Brooke.
And I'm Dr. Lynne.
And we're so glad you're here.
Hello, everyone. We are talking this week about something that is maybe a lesser discussed topic, but I think it really affects most of us. I know that it's affected me. And it's all about delaying joy, not really leaning in and enjoying life as it comes to us.
Yeah. That's a big thing, and especially we talk about this phase of life all the time, but it's kind of like asking that question, what are you waiting for? I know you've said that to me before. Like, why are you putting that thing off? Why are you saving that for a rainy day? Like, the time is now. We're not getting any younger, and
go for it.
Go for it. Go do the thing.
Yeah, I think we come off of our 20s and our 30s and save for a rainy day. Put that wine bottle away and save it for a special occasion. Don't wear that dress. Don't use the good china.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's something to be said about not just squandering. And of course, you need stability and security with your finances. Please don't take me wrong there. But I think that life's simple pleasures are meant to be enjoyed. And if you have china that you just absolutely love, but you never take it out, take it out on a Tuesday. I mean, how special could that be?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I don't think we do that enough, for sure. I mean, my china, geez. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've used it, and it's always on a holiday. But that's a good point. Why not pull it out and have it with dinner?
Yeah.
Just change things up a little bit.
I think it makes life a little bit spontaneous and surprising, and I think that's what we're all craving a little more of. I know that I do.
Yeah.
No,
I agree. And I had a conversation, you and I have talked about this before, and I something came to mind for me. I was thinking about a conversation that I had with my oldest son, and he had been wanting these pair of shoes. And he's like a sneakerhead, so they were sneakers, right? There were some, I don't even know what they were, but anyway, he was saving and he was waiting to get them, and he finally got the shoes and loved those shoes so much. Months went by and he never wore them. And finally I was like, Anthony, what, he put them on in the house, but he wasn't wearing them. And I'd be like, I'm like, Anthony, what's happening? All this money on those shoes. You love these shoes and you're not wearing them. He's like, well, I'm just nervous. I don't want to get them dirty. And, if I walk in them too much, they're going to get creases. So I'm just and I was like, Anthony.
Yeah.
And this is the conversation. What are you waiting for? They're not bringing you any joy or doing anything for you sitting in your closet. I mean, yeah, I guess you can pull them out and look at them every once in a while and feel good about that. But if you have something in your life, or there's something that you want in your life, unless you take the step to put it in action, it's not doing what it could do for you.
Right.
And I think this is the piece we're talking about, delaying joy, but on top of that, take action.
Yes, always.
Don't you think that's
it's so important, and I really think that when it comes to experiencing joy, we hold back because we think, well, we have to wait until we get this thing, or we have to reach this goal or this milestone. And we love to set goals and do have those things, those carrots out in front of you, but there's really a balance. At this place in our life, it's time to really lean into that joy and find the things that are joyful for you. That Marie Kondo, I used to just watch that thinking it was so funny how she would hold something up and be like, no, or yes, but it's so true. And my sister has done that. We've talked about that as well. Just the things that bring you joy, bring them out, use them, because that's an emotion that will add to your day, just an extra layer of just beauty and fun.
Yeah, I agree. And there's another piece to this conversation, I think, too, which is, and you and I have had conversations about this, but this feeling of that we create in ourselves that we don't deserve the joy right now. Put it off because it's not only now's not the time, I'm saving it for a rainy day, or I don't want to, or whatever, it's too good to use, whatever it is you're telling yourself. But there's also that piece of, I don't deserve it. And you might not be saying that speaking it or even realize you're thinking it, but on a subconscious level somewhere, there's that piece of us that thinks,
Yeah.
right? And that's,
I think so much of that goes back to our worthiness and what we feel we are deserving of, and how we speak to ourselves in the love that we give to ourselves. And I do think that, having joy and leaning into joy is a big piece of that. It's possibly uncomfortable for many of you to do something, to go to a concert, to spend money on yourself for something that you would really enjoy. And it's because you question that. And so I think all of us need to self-evaluate and self-examine where we are with that piece. And I think that, just like you said, going back to the action, using the china, opening that bottle, putting on that dress is just the action
Putting
that
on
you
the
could
shoes.
take to help you get to that place where you see and love yourself at a deeper level.
Yeah, it's so important. And I think too, as mothers, there's this tendency to feel bad if we do something for ourselves, or if we're pouring into everybody else. And it's okay to go to the concert, go and have a nice meal, treat yourself to those pair of shoes that you wanted, not in a selfish way, but like, if you don't do enough of that, if you're not loving yourself too and giving to yourself, and you might be somebody who's spending time creating all this joy and happiness for everybody else around you. And if you are a woman, a mother who has been doing that for their kids all their life, and just pouring into them and giving to them and making sure they had what they needed, and now they're growing up and they're going on, it's time.
It's tough.
It's
and by
time
the way,
to feel some joy and give back to yourself. And it's okay to do that.
It is. And I think most of us, by the way, that's a very noble way to mother and amazing. But I want to get at the root of people that, and I've been there. Sometimes you feel resentful after a while because it's out of balance, right? The giving, the constant giving. But beside that, what do you want your daughters to grow up to be? Do you want them to be constantly pouring into their kids? Yes, probably.
Yep.
But also to give time towards themselves and be able to have an example. So we have to be that example for them to show where those boundaries are and how it's okay.
Absolutely. And I have one more comment here that's coming to mind, is that my dad, not growing up, it was probably when I was in like young adulthood, he would say, and he always, like, so often, any life lesson that he's giving me comes from a quote
Tonyisms.
Tony. Oh, that's good. Tonyisms. But often it comes from something that my grandfather, his dad, told him. Like, he holds him in such high regard. And he was a really wise man. But he said to me, like, so many times, Brooke, and guys, don't take this the wrong way, I'll explain it. But he'd say, Brooke, Grandpa Bob always used to say, you can't take it to the grave.
Yeah.
It's not going to do you any good.
Yep.
When you're gone, you can't take it with you. So you might as well, like, do the thing, use the thing, spend a little, and, enjoy your life. Now, that's not to say, like, oh, as you mentioned earlier, like, we don't need to save, we don't need a cushion, let's just enjoy. But once again, it's balance.
It's balance.
And, if you haven't been doing it yet in your life, now is the time to take a trip, do some travel, to, whatever that looks like for you, it's time.
Yeah, and I think these conversations are meant to clue you into, is there a place in this conversation in your life that you are out of balance? So, and if you're not, great, that's amazing.
Right.
But if you're out of balance one way or the other, it's time to recalibrate.
That's right, because that's true, because you could be on any end of the spectrum, but it's, right, this is the time to, as we sit and talk about these things, check in with yourself and get some perspective, and what can we do to make this the most joyful stage of our life. Right. So great conversation. I always love talking to you. We love talking with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, www.lifeafterkids.com. If you want to subscribe to the blog or see our blogs, anything else that we're doing, you can also access the Life After Kids program there. And we have a free webinar that you can sign up for on the website. So thanks again for being here, guys.
for
Have
joining
a
us.
great week.